Hello students, so continuing with the segments in the healthcare industry, let's move on to the diagnostic sector. So this diagnostic sector, it is being attracted by high growth rate and lucrative returns. Okay, so the investment for the setting of the laboratory, of course it is huge, but the cost of the reagents and the cost of the test tubes and all, it's pretty less in the returns from the test and all are high in terms of diagnostics. So, and that is why the growth rate is seen very good and very high in this sector. Also, our domestic diagnostic sector also has a lot of private equity players into it, looking at the high growth rate and the returns. And we have seen there are a number of private equity players like Metropolis, then Lalpath Labs, then SRL Diagnostics. So these are all the private equity players who are big players in the diagnostic sector in the domestic market. The entry barrier is very low in case of diagnostics because you have to get the license and you can open the laboratory with all the equipments and all. So there is a low capex requirement and minimum regulatory supervision, and so there is a high chances that there will be a lot of competitors in this market. So, and diagnostic services, even if in a specific population, it is not necessary that you'll have only one or two laboratories, but you can have couple of numbers of laboratories, which makes this industry highly visible and with high growth. And you see a lot of competitors also in this sector. So this is diagnostics. So the next is the hospitals. Okay, we know what our hospitals is all about. So in the case of hospitals also, it's not that there are only private players or there are only public player, but yes, both coexist, and we have healthcare infrastructure which includes both the private as well as the public sector. Hospitals which are funded by the government are mainly located maybe located in the rural sector also, and in the urban sector also you will see government run hospitals. However, in case of private hospital, you will see most of the hospitals are run by the private players are situated in the urban areas, looking after the paying capacity of the population and not more in the rural areas. The concentration of the government hospital is mainly seen in the rural areas because government hospital provide mostly treatment at a very concession rate, and mostly under schemes like Ayushman Bharat, where they provide free of cost treatment. So in rural area, the paying capacity of the population is very low, and that is why the concentration of the government hospital is seen more in the rural areas. So this is what is about the hospital sector. So let's talk about the pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical market was valued to be 15.6 billion in 2011 and was expected to grow to 55 billion in 2020 as per the McKinsey report. So, and the pharmaceutical in India is the world's third largest in terms of volume, and it stands 14th in terms of value. And India is already a global player, and when it comes to generic, it plays a very important role, and in the biologics as well as in biosimilars. So India export a huge amount of pharmaceutical products globally, and it was estimated to be 14.5 billion in 2012 and 13, and it has increased at the rate of 10% per year in the last 5 years. So we can imagine that the pharmaceutical industry in India is a very huge market, and there are private players, mainly it is being run by mostly the private players, and the kind of the drugs that the India is produce, it has set up a benchmark in the global industry. And so this is what about we have talked till now about the segments of the healthcare industry, and we have covered almost all the sectors. So I hope you are very much understandable, and with this the second topic of the subject is over. Thank you so much.